to another live episode of Halftime Adjustments. I'm here with my boys tonight, my guys, Mr. J. Lou and G. What's happening, fellas?
What's going on, gents? Tighten up.
Tighten up, baby.
Tighten up, man. It's another week down. Welcome. We back live tonight with game recap of the week 5 matchup. You know, coming in. So guys, let's talk about this. Let's start it this way tonight as we letting everybody get in and before we start breaking down the game. You know, we talked about the first quarter of the schedule last week a little bit. And, you know, for coming out of the first quarter of the schedule at 2-2 and overall and then 1-0 in division, that's pretty good, guys. You know, considering that we did get a big division win over the Colts and then we split with the Seahawks and the Cardinals. But after 4 weeks, G. Witt, is this team a contender or a pretender? What you got for me, G?
Look, I was thinking about this earlier after the game was over and everything, and I was like, okay, look, we're 3-2. All right, we are 2-0 in the division. Okay, you know, we're up on everybody, so I can't really complain too much. But with the way this defense is playing right now, I'm not going to say we're a contender because we still are. We got too many O-line issues. We got linebacker issues. It was just, today was just ridiculous. I mean, you know, it just didn't make any sense. But, you know, I have to look at the positive and say, like, okay, look, bottom line is we got to win. We got two big games coming up. Well, actually more than that. I mean, it's getting ready to get really ugly for us. So the defense has got to play better. And I will, to his credit, Vrabel was not happy with the defense at all today. I mean, he was not happy. Way too many missed tackles. Dane Cruikshank was just like, you know, whiffing on everything. It was just amazing to me. It's like, I don't know. But now I'm not going to call us a contender yet.
What about you, J. Lou? Pretenders after 4 weeks or contenders? Pretenders or contenders?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with G. Witt. I'll say we're pretenders right now. Too many inconsistencies. We beat a Jags team where the score was lopsided, but I don't think anything else was. I mean, that was a game. To me, that was a game that should have been over at halftime. If you're a Buffalo, because I say Buffalo is a contender. Mm-hmm. Buffalo, did they not blank Houston or somebody last week? I mean, that game was over. Yeah, that game was over early. Mm-hmm. So you go out and the teams you're supposed to beat when you're just superior to them, you get them over quickly. And we're not doing that. Offensive line is going to be the Achilles heel of this team throughout the year. Tannehill is worth every piece of dime we're paying him. Because I'll be honest, there's a lot of, you hear a lot of folks, a lot of naysayers out there, and a lot of folks on social media who are still some Marcus Mariota stains, who think that Mariota should still be playing here. Mariota wouldn't have made it out of the second game.
Right.
Because Tannehill took a shot today that I didn't think he was going to get back up on. It wasn't even a sack. It was just a hit, getting out. So, how does that handle? And then the defense, we talked about it doing earlier. We played 5 games now. We had a whole offseason, a whole preseason, and yet we still have not learned how to tackle in the National Football League. And it was, I think what was eye-opening for how terrible we are on tackling is when I can't think of the receiver's name for Jacksonville. Caught the ball on the sideline, and there's a steal shot of 4 or 5 Titans just playing tag. We're going to miss him on the sideline. That's pathetic. So, I mean, until we shore up some of those, again, some of the positives, we're in the AFC South. We should win that division. But again, I mean, so you would think if you could sweep the division, that's 6 wins, and where do you find 4 more at to get in the playoffs? But yeah, right now we're looking at a one and done team in the playoffs, not to make any noise either. So I'll say pretender for right now.
If we make the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, big if, and I'm gonna agree with both of you. I will say they're pretenders as well. Too many issues, like you guys already mentioned, with the offensive line and the inconsistencies on defense. And the fact that we got a defensive coordinator that is not learning anything from week to week. You should learn something, after 4 weeks, and then you come into week 5, you should be able to show something different. But we'll get into that in just a second. But it was a long week coming off a loss to the Jets, a bad taste left in the mouth of not only the players but the fans and everybody, in the media. You could hear it all week. Losing to a team that was winless and it was only averaging 6.6 a game. 6.6 points a game was just ridiculous. Also, a laundry list of injuries, 21 for the week if you count We talked about the offensive line already being a leaky offensive line, a defense that plays too soft at times, and then a vanilla offense and a vanilla defense. So a lot of issues coming into week 5 against this AFC matchup, but it's an AFC South game, right? So we got to take advantage of that against another winless team in the Jags, an offense that was averaging 18.5 points a game, and the defense was giving up nearly 30 points a game and 33% third down conversion. And so, G-Wit, I'm going to go with you this week first. First reactions of the Titans 37-19 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm going to say any win you get in the NFL, it's a good win. But as far as the game was concerned, I agree with Jay Lou. It was just, it shouldn't have been that close. It really shouldn't. You hit the nail on the head. You talk about the defense, the coordinators not learning anything from over the past 4 to 5 weeks. I go back even further. They didn't learn anything from last year. It's just ridiculous on how this team is still making the same mistakes from a year ago. We got, and somebody's going to explain to me about Jeff Swain, man. I just don't get it. Your job is to block the DB, the safety on your sweep run, and you dive with your head down. You made one good block earlier, but then you come across on this one and you can't make any. Right. And it just does not make any sense whatsoever. And offensive line is just, right now, they have nothing. And we got an offensive coordinator that refuses to move the pocket, refuses to just get them out of that harm's way or anything like that, do anything to get them out of harm's way. We got a defensive coordinator who, for some reason, still insists on having your DBs play 8-10 yards off the line of scrimmage, which was setting you up for again, like you brought out earlier today, Eddie, setting you up for the sweep runs because there's nobody there to set the edge for you. And then, as me and Jay Lou was going back and forth today, inside linebacker play, I take nothing from David Long Jr. I thought he played a good game, but we have got to go out and find an inside linebacker and put Rashard Evans on the sideline, man, because right now it was bad enough that, he was struggling, but now he can't move.
Right.
And that 53-yard run in the first quarter, his gap discipline was horrendous.
As it always is.
I was like, why are you there? Mm-hmm. Your job, you put yourself in the wash. You didn't get caught up in the wash. You put yourself in the wash.
Right.
Like you didn't read the play at all. So I don't know. I'm going to say Rashard Evans hasn't played good since Dean Pease left. Mm-hmm. And obviously I think there's something, and I think there's just something there that's not clicking with him and Vrabel's defense that doesn't make it. It's just not making any sense for him. So we just got way too many issues right now, man. It's a good win. I always take a win. And granted it was Jacksonville, but like Jay Lou said, it was closer than it should have been.
Yeah, division win at that, right?
Yeah, it was a division win. Like I said earlier, we're 3-2, mm-hmm. and we're 2-0 in the division. So I'm not complaining, but this team has a lot of work to do. They want to be considered a contender. All this stuff that people were talking about early in the offseason about Super Bowl contender and everything, that's not what we're seeing on the field. That is not what we're seeing on the field.
Right. What about you, Jay Lou? Your first reactions after this victory today?
Yeah, first reactions. I'll say this. I'll say that I think out of both coordinators, I think Todd Downing probably learned a little bit more. Now he's still stubborn too much to me without rolling the pocket at all, but right. I think we got a little bit more creative. I really like what they did with Batson. Mm-hmm. That was a different, unique look to the Wildcat, mm-hmm. And how we set up some of the runs. We're still allergic to play action. He hates play action. So if he can fix that, I think that'll help. Right. I will say we had, I'll point out two bright spots. Mm-hmm. I thought Kevin Byard and Harold Landry played some solid football today.
Yeah.
You talk about coordinators not learning anything. if Bowen puts Harold Landry as a DB one more time, he should be yanked off the field immediately. I mean, that touchdown, I don't even fault Harold Landry for that touchdown. It was called him. He's in bad position. And what happens? I think he finished the day with 2.5 sacks when you allow him to rush, and then Byard again playing ball. So I think that was good. I also think near the end of the game, when you had to have the 2 rookies in there due to some injuries, you started to see a little bit more speed out there on the field. Because let's just put it this way: Janoris Jenkins, Jonathan Joseph 2.0, his time is dwindling down. I think if Farley was a little bit more ahead, I think you would see Jenkins not playing as much. And I think we see that switch near the middle of the season. So it was good to see that. The one thing that scares me, and again, I know he's got probably the best offseason workout we've seen. How much can the King take? Because again, we're dependent on him a lot. And to his credit, he came out today and that was a hard-earned 29 for 130. It was. It was hard earned.
Go ahead. I was gonna say that's another 30 carries for
another 3 games in a row.
Yeah,
yes, 3 in a row. We did see him on 3rd down. You know, we had him on 3rd down for at least a drive.
I'm gonna clap for that one.
And you saw what it did. We was in shotgun on 3rd and 2, if I'm not mistaken. They had to respect the run. I mean, the run option was there. Pass was wide open. So I think it was good to see AJ out there. He showed what a true number 1 does. He made Marcus Johnson look good today because he was taking a lot of the defenders his way. They were giving him a lot of attention, and that helped. That's something we were missing last week with Reynolds when we had a bunch of 3 and 4s out there. We had a true 1 out there today, but it's again, it's the Jags. It's a division win. You like to be ahead on the schedules, 3 and 2. So we're 3 and 2. But you've got to circle the wagons and get ready for a very tough one Monday night. Very tough. And you hope you can get some guys back healthy. I'll tell you this, I don't know what's going on with the injuries on the offensive line, but I feel like Saffold goes down every game.
He does.
And it's something different every game. And to his credit, Corey Levine, I thought he played pretty decent. You didn't hear his name called, so that's a good thing.
That's
when O-line when he came in. But we've got to do something to just get this team healthy. I mean, maybe it's just our luck this year. We snake bitten with it, but it's terrible.
21 names on the injury report throughout the
week. That's crazy.
I mean, and to their credit, you know, everybody in the NFL is saying this is unheard of.
Yes,
that's right.
It's unheard of.
It's crazy.
I mean, we got at least 17 on IR.
Yeah.
Now.
So I mean, it's like you said, it's rare and it's something they got to deal with. And hopefully in the next few weeks, you'll see some folks get healthy because that bye week is still a long time away for them to get some time off. And so here's some of my first reactions. And you guys have already hit some of the points. Janoris Jenkins, I can't call him Jackrabbit no more. We talked about that last week. He's too soft in coverage. Now, is it by scheme or is it the player? I don't know, but he's still too far, 8 to 10 yards off the receiver every time he lines up. The only time that he pressed, and we talked about it when we was texting back and forth, they got a sack. Harold Landry got a sack when they press covered, and guess what happened? They get a sack. They slow the receivers down on their routes. Don't let them get up them so quick. Don't get a free release off the line of scrimmage. I mean, that's just football 101. We talked about Jeff Swain. He's got to go to the bench.
Man,
he's terrible.
I think that's the one thing that baffles me is, first of all, Swain, I told you earlier, Swain and Fursker are the worst blocking tight ends we've had in Titans history. But I don't understand. We got lucky with Michael Pruitt falling back in our laps. Why are you not playing him more? He by far to me is tight end number 1, and it's not even close.
Yeah, he's got hands, as we talked about last week. And I agree with you, Dion. I'll take these ugly wins all day, but these issues that keep rearing their ugly heads every week,
they're gonna bite you.
David Long, we talked about him, 12 tackles, man. He's all over the field today. Byard, this was his best game by far.
Yes,
10 tackles, 2 pass breakups, a fumble return for a TD, and an interception. And, you know, as bad as we talk about Down, and I'm not saying he's perfect, but he was better today than he's been all season. You got to give him credit for mixing it up. As you mentioned, J. Lou with the Wildcat.
he still went back to his old habit, though.
He did.
He still went back to his old habit. It's like, I can't keep calling plays like this. I got to go back to doing things the way I always do.
Right. And, he didn't move the pocket, and he started off predictable, as he always does. First down, second down, bro. Too many. I just don't understand the missed tackles at all. I mean, it's just too many, and it's causing just a lot of issues getting off the field. Not enough pressure on Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion. He had a lot of time to sit in that pocket. Another rookie quarterback for the second week in a row, having too much time to throw the football. And as we talked about before we came on, it's time to get Chris Jackson out of the game. Elijah Molden's got to play. I mean, when is he gonna be ready? It's never a good time to put him in there, but you might as well. I'm sure he can play at least as good as Chris Jackson. He made one good play today, which was that tackle on 4th down.
I told you earlier, if you look at I think it was either before halftime or right after, where Big Jeff got some pressure on Trevor and caused the tip pass. Chris Jackson was beat when the ball was hiked. Like it was a touchdown if Trevor got it out there. Right. So I'd rather just take our chance with Molden and let's get the rookie get out there, because Jackson ain't it.
Right. Yeah, I want to get this comment in, and I'll give you the rest of my reaction. So Gino P, appreciate you giving the comment, man. He said, do the DBs decide how they line up, or it's the coach's decision? Let me answer that first, and I'll let y'all go. According to Vrabel, they don't coach DBs to be that far off the ball. All right. But we can constantly see it week after week after week. So guess what? G, with me, you talked about this last year. If there's a player out there that's not following the coaching, he needs to be on the bench.
Exactly.
Yes. So if it's not that, then it's the scheme. So he's got.
I think it's coaching, and I think it's ever since we've had Mr. Midget take over the DBs that we've seen after we lost Kerry Combs, we've seen these DBs go 7 to 10 to 15 yards deep, and that's the one thing that's consistent on defense.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Like you said, Jay Lou, like to see the young guns in the game getting some experience. And today, and I'm gonna see what y'all think about this. Today is the first time the talent on the Titans won the game. Just because they had more talent in Jacksonville today, that's why the game was the way it was. If not, that game would have been a whole lot more closer.
It's two things. It's two things. It's the talent, and it's what I said last week while we would beat the Jags. Right. Urban Meyer's a terrible coach.
That was my next point. Urban Meyer was the coach. That was my next point. Yes. Why do you take James Robinson out of the game? And he was gashing.
He was gashing them, killing the Titans.
So, hey, I appreciate Urban for doing that and his horrible coaching. but yeah, so those are my reactions. So, Jacksonville, 454 yards of total offense. They were just gashing with the run game up the middle. And again, it's because you got 4 guys lined up and you playing, the linebackers deep, and you got the secondary deep. And like you said, G-Wit, you got that corner on that particular side they want to run to at 10 yards. And guess what? There's no threat to the running back until he gets downfield about 8 to 10 yards. And so that's easy, because guess what? Now you got to pull and block out in front. He don't have anybody to contend with until he gets to the DB. And so that's already 8 yards, right?
Man, it's so bad right now. And that's what I'm saying. I can't look a gift horse in the mouth. Like I said, we won the game, which is what we're supposed to do.
Gotta love it.
But put it like this: as a fan of defense, let me just put it this way: as a fan of defense, you cannot be happy with this win.
No, at all.
You cannot be, because it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you gave up 400 yards of offense, 100 and some odd yards of rushing, and over 200 yards passing. Now, come on now.
We gave up 100 yards rushing in the first half.
And the
first sad part in the first half.
First half. And and again, a lot of it comes out of just poor gap discipline and poor tackling.
That's right.
It just doesn't make sense. I for the life of me, I can't figure out what's going on with this defense, and I can't figure out what's going on with the linebacking crew. They have not been right since DP's left.
I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Who's the linebacker coach?
Hazlitt.
So
we answered that.
That's the common theme, right, from last year?
Okay. So that's two position coaches we're talking about there.
Right.
Yes,
that's right. That's exactly
Hazlitt
right.
and Midget.
Right.
Yep.
And and I said when we got Midget, I was worried about him because Houston's secondary was never that great.
Right.
I don't care what anybody said. That if it wasn't for the offense, Houston's in the front seven. Houston's secondary was not good at all. And as it turns out, he's not. I don't think he's that good of a coach.
Right.
I just don't. You know, but Derrick Henry's getting a lot of wear and tear. And
Too much.
I was telling the wife earlier today. I was like, you know, if Darrington Evans can't ever be healthy, J-Rob's got to draft another running back next year. Because this is what Darrington Evans is doing. I said the thing that's driving me crazy is the fact that he gets hurt without getting touched.
Yes.
You know, I you know, you just get tired of this. He gets hurt without getting touched.
Exactly.
In a preseason game, didn't even get touched, bounced and jumped out of bounds. And I'm like, the guy we were counting on to give us a break, give Derrick Henry a break this year, can't even get it done. Then Jeremy McNichols gets hurt.
He did.
You know, which forced J. Lou them to use Derrick Henry on third down. So you know, it's right now. You just got a state of flux in not only with players, but you got a state of flux with coaches too. It's this whole team. That's when I can't say they're a contender, because there's just too many question marks all around.
But you got a head coach that's stubborn, that don't want to admit that there's a problem with the scheme. You know, we don't coach players to play off. I get it. But for him to come out and say that they don't coach players to back up, come on, man.
He's not going to say it. He's not going to admit to any of it.
But don't come out and say that, because we all know that's not true.
No, he's going to say that, but he can't. But what else he going to say?
But he's lying, because everybody can see it. Yeah,
everybody knows he's lying because they keep doing it.
So I want to get this comment in, because Frank said, thank you, Frank, for the comment, man. He says he thinks Vrabel actually called a timeout at the end of the game to tell the players move up. He did.
Yeah,
he told Jack Rabbit standing on the goal line.
He did.
He absolutely did.
They had to 10
and the bad thing about it, they're standing back and backpedaling.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm like, who? And now the last time they had somebody who was like that, what was his name? Parrish Cox.
Oh God!
My God!
He didn't make it past one of them games. He got cut midweek.
Chicago game. Now, if you got to call a timeout at the end of the game in garbage time to tell your players to get up on the line of scrimmage, that means one or two things is going wrong. Your players are just too stubborn to do what you want them to do, and therefore need to be cut.
That's what I'm saying.
Or your secondary coach can't teach players how to play the position, and he needs to be cut.
Exactly. So it's either the coaching scheme or it's the players. So you got to.
There's no about it. But this defense right now is pretty trash. Even though they're not ranked as bad as they were last year, they're pretty trash. I mean, that, like you said, on that game, on that one play where the guy almost scored on the pass play where he missed five missed tackles. Yeah. That didn't make any sense. And Rashard Evans, I'm like, I know you hurt, man, but make a tackle.
Make a tackle.
Dane Cruikshank, you got a man right there in your sights, and you just let him go. You didn't
tackling with his head down. He got a problem with that head going down. He does.
He got that number 33 syndrome, man. I'm telling you.
But he's 29, G.
I know he's 29. He's got 33 syndrome. Yeah. You know, it's just like Jeff Swain with his blocking. He's got 33 syndrome. You can't block what you can't see.
J. Lou, man, I just don't understand why Mr. Downing doesn't like running that play action, man. I mean,
I don't either.
Save your quarterback.
It's two things that I don't like about him. He don't want to run the play action, and then you're running Derrick Henry to the side that Swain is the blocker on. He's getting blown up every time. Every time. Why are you doing that?
Derrick Henry's best runs, if you go back and look at it, they mainly came on the side where Michael
Pruitt was.
Pruitt.
It was Michael Pruitt, and then he did very good today. Blasting game played a heck of a game. Go ahead.
No, so okay, let me say something real quick, because since you brought him up, so let's go back to last week's show. If you want to look at the film, let's look at the film. Because I said, why is he not running with Blasting game as lead blocker? Why not? And look what happens today.
Blowing them up.
You see, he had that DB out of bounds.
Yes. Blowing.
Come on, man.
He's doing what a fullback is supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, J. Lou.
No, you good.
Taking on the DB, make sure Derrick Henry gets through a clean fly. But look, let's. I mean, you got to look at this thing. I just can't figure out the play action deal or the move in the pocket, especially with a trash offensive line. It's not making any much sense to me. But today, if nothing else, today showed really how much they missed Jonnu Smith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was evident because
I'm
you don't have anybody.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It was more than evident.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there was a couple of plays where you saw Anthony First could get the ball, and he's got to make it to the first down, and he can't move nobody.
No.
Oh no.
He can't move nobody.
Well, we talked about it in the offseason, right?
Yeah, we talked about. We said we were gonna be hurting.
Yeah.
Today just illustrated how bad we were hurting by not having Jonnu Smith. It's just one of them things. And I will say this one more thing too before we go. Just switching sides of the ball. Your linebacker crew is bad if Jeffrey Simmons is chasing down ball carriers.
No, you know what? I like that. I like that about a big fella, man. Run
No,
the ball.
I'm not saying I don't like it.
I know you're not saying that. But
your defense, your linebacking crew is bad when your starting defensive tackle is chasing down the ball carriers. And I'm not talking about he's chasing them down the line of scrimmage, Eddie.
No, downfield.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm gonna be honest with you.
I loved
it. The same thing Jarrell Casey used to do when we were terrible.
Uh-huh.
The exact same thing, and we had a terrible defense, and we got the same thing happening now. You got a defensive tackle who's an all-star, an all-pro, and he's the only linebacker. He's playing linebacker and defensive tackle.
So Jay, look, let's just go back and think about it for a minute. Talking about this defense. So you played against two legit quarterbacks, two legit offenses. And now here comes your third challenge. In those two prior games, they had, 38 points by the Cardinals, 30 points by the Seahawks. And now you got Buffalo.
45.
That is averaging nearly 40 points a game right now after that week 1 loss to the Steelers.
Yes.
And, it doesn't get much easier.
Yeah, because
Kansas City.
This coming up Monday, you got the type of quarterback that hurts the Titans. Allen's got a strong arm and he's sneaky mobile. I mean, he last year he almost led that team in rushing. And then he's got some good playmakers on the outside and a good tight end. So I mean, this has the chance to get ugly quickly because I don't see can you imagine us giving Stephon Diggs a 15-yard cushion? He catch a 5-yard slant and he's gone.
And you don't even know the health of Christian Fulton right now.
No, and that's big.
Christian Fulton will not be playing on.
His third injury, the last injury looked bad in the end zone. Hamstring, that looked bad, and the way he was grabbing that one looked bad. But I mean, it's just we've got to find a way to generate a pass rush. I think outside of Harold Landry, again, I think Landry is coming to play, and quiet as it's kept, Grover G. Witt just mentioned him. Simmons is playing ball every down.
Yeah.
Like big Jeff he's making plays, but we've got to find a way to generate some pass. I think what irritates me more is we saw a lot of zero blitz. I remember us talking about it on this show during the preseason.
Right.
I've yet to see us blitz any of these rookie quarterbacks or anybody else.
None.
If you can't get pass rush with just your let's generate some pass rush with somebody else.
I know. Didn't run one blitz today. I was sitting here thinking about it as you was talking. No slot blitz.
No linebacker corner,
blitz,
nothing.
No double A gap blitz.
Nope.
No zeros. No nothing. And it's like you're gonna rush 4 guys the whole time. Now, granted, like you said, Harold Landry was beating that tackle to death.
Gosh, yes.
And then he was maintaining containment after they ran, because they kept running those twist stunts, which eventually the offense is gonna pick that up. You can't keep running those same stunts up front.
You saw it wasn't working.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Working.
And if Harold Landry doesn't have containment responsibility like he did and maintain the integrity of the containment on that second sack, Trevor Lawrence would have been still running.
Yep.
So it's a huge deal. And Jay Lee, you make a great point about Buffalo in that running game last year. Josh Allen was running, and this year they're like number 5 in the NFL in rushing. So they've addressed that with a lot of guys they brought in.
Running back
Devin Singletary,
yeah.
and Zach Moss, and those guys, physical football runners, football players. And so, you got to like that about Buffalo. They're going to be a team that's not one-dimensional so much anymore. and not relying on Josh Allen for his legs, but just mostly for his arm. And so
Yeah.
they said, G Witt is sitting back like, what do we really do?
I mean, you got to look at this thing, man, and you look at this team, and it's just confusing. You know, we knew the offense was going to take a step back this year. We knew that. We knew, you're changing coordinator, but I just didn't think the offensive line was going to be this trash.
Gosh.
They've given up in 5 games. They've given up 20 sacks.
20 sacks.
Whew.
20 sacks. That's 4 sacks a game.
Right.
You get and that's not counting the hits he's taken and the pressures he's been under. That's just sacks. So something has got to be clicked with this offensive line. I mean, it's just, and some of it, don't get me wrong, some of it's on Tannehill. Some of it's
Some of them tell me.
yeah. But even in that regard, that tells me that as a coach and as a coordinator, and working with him, you're not giving him the opportunity to do anything different. I mean, I was surprised he got to run. They let him run today.
That was a big surprise.
And
he let him run.
He learned how to slide too.
He's gonna survive, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna survive, you better. But that's the thing about it. I'm looking at him, I'm like, man, this team right now is as talented as they are, and they do have talent. We can dog J-Rob out all we want, but they still got talent.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
But the bottom line is something on this team is missing, because there's no coming together and there's no continuity. The only consistent thing they got going for them really is Derrick Henry.
Yes.
And teams are lining up to make sure Derrick Henry isn't going anywhere. I mean, I saw so many 9-man boxes today.
Ooh.
I'm like 8 at the least, 9 mostly.
Especially,
I think
go
they
ahead.
said it on the film on the game, Tiki Barber, that teams have played like 44% 8-man box against the Titans this year. That's by far number 1 in the league.
Yeah.
So go ahead. So Todd. So if I'm Todd Downing, no, I'm gonna go even better than that. If I'm Mike Vrabel, and I know that, and my offensive coordinator still running these tight formations with 3 tight ends and 1 receiver. I mean, 50 to 60% of the game, you keep running these same tight formations. Guess what? I'm gonna come out 9 on the box too, because I know you're not gonna throw the ball. If you are, I got a man, I got a DB, and I got a safety over the top to take care of that one.
Well, that's my other problem. and this is why I got a problem with Tannehill. You seeing the formation in front of you. You're seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't checking out the play.
Check out of the play.
You ain't checking out of the play. You ain't running. It's got to be like he did against Seattle in on that second drive when he just like, I'm checking out and I'm running play action on first down. You don't run. I mean, with Derrick Henry, run play action on first down. You don't run it on second down because everybody's looking for it. You done already ran the ball and you only got 2 yards.
Right.
So play action isn't really as effective on second down and second and long as it is on 1st and 10.
Mm-hmm.
And with everybody gassing up to stop Derrick Henry, you run play action on 1st and 10. You don't run a wide receiver screen. Come on, man. I mean, that's just being stubborn and stupid. That's just bottom line. And right now, this is what the team is suffering for: dumb football. Basically, bottom line, they're suffering from dumb football, and most of that is on the coaching.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Because like we talked about earlier in the offseason and in the preseason, is that this team's got a whole bunch of talent, right? And so last year, Vrabel was like, well, the players, we got to have the players, So guess what? They got the players now. So now it's the coaching. So he's gonna fall into the situation like Mike Mularkey.
Yeah.
When Aim is finally gonna have to say something like, look, you're gonna have to get rid of your buddies.
Yes.
Or you're gonna have to go.
Some real coaches. Exactly.
Because his buddies can't coach. We see that. The buddies cannot coach. Midget, he's got to be the worst secondary coach I've ever seen in my life. And I don't even know what he's telling them, but you can see the product on the field, which is not much.
I mean, it's just bottom line is he's not teaching technique. Let's just be real about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not teaching technique. And the bottom line is his technique is you play off the line of scrimmage and keep everybody in front of you. That's his technique. He's not teaching coverages. Kerry Coons is at least teaching coverages. Teaching how to stay in front of, how to play press, how to stay in front of somebody. Anthony Mitchell's not teaching that. And neither is, and Jim Haslip is not teaching the inside linebackers at all. So they have taken They have. I mean, and the bad thing about it is, I believe Rashad Evans has plenty of talent. Matter of fact, I know he does.
Yeah,
because he played good on the Dean Peas. And when Tyrone McKenzie was coaching the inside backers, he played good. All of a sudden, you get Jim Haslett. He don't know. He can't maintain gap discipline. He don't know where he's supposed to be.
So Jay Lou, is that not what we talked? Is that not the defensive coordinator's problem? Why is he not? Why isn't Vrabel addressing the defensive coordinator? The defensive coordinator is the manager of the defense, is he not?
That's correct.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Correct.
But it's hard. But it's hard for a defensive coordinator who's just new on the job. First year of actually calling plays. It's hard for a defensive coordinator to say to the coach, "Your buddy can't coach."
No. That's not what he says. What he says is we've got to get the chemistry and the continuity on this defense because we got people playing out of position too much. And eventually you're going to say, all right, let's put this guy on the bench and play somebody else. Well, that guy's still doing the same thing. But guess what?
That's coaching.
Right.
I'm just curious, what is actually Jim Schwartz's role? Because I'll be honest, I thought you would see his fingerprints a little bit. And all of us have been Titans fans forever. We had Schwartz with his hair. Aggressiveness is his play caller. A play card is a defensive coordinator.
But you saw that in the preseason.
That's what I was going to say. The preseason, it looked like you saw his hands more on it than right now. I think this is a little power struggle where Vrabel's trying to give his buddies a chance. And to your point, Ed, it ain't working.
No. So we got a big matchup coming on Monday night here at Nissan Stadium. The Buffalo Bills, like we said, 40 points a game since that week one loss to the Steelers and they scored 16. 7th overall on offense, 1st in overall defense. I didn't even know they had the first ranked defense until I looked it up. Josh Allen,
scoring on them.
Stephon Diggs, right? Emmanuel Sanders they added. And then you got Tre'Davious White, which is one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. One of the best secondaries we've faced to this point coming up. And if Julio is not healthy, it's going to be a long day for our receivers getting open. We've got to have somebody else on the other side of the field to be able to stretch the defense. And if Downing's going to start play action, this will be the week to do it.
Yes. Well, I'll be the first one. I think we'll see Julio in this game, and I think we'll see Bud Dupree in this game. The question is going to be who else we're going to get to see in this game. But really, it's right now they're so banged up. Every time they bring somebody off IR, they putting somebody else back on.
Right.
They put Jayon Brown on IR. They bring Darrington Evans off. They put Jayon Brown on. Mm-hmm. So it's just a cycle. Right now, and I will say this. The Vrabel curse has finally hit the team because this is what happened to him when he was the 1 year he was a DC in Houston.
Oh my God!
Everybody got hurt.
Somebody brought that up on in the chat.
Yeah, everybody got hurt. So the Vrabel curse has finally hit this team in a major way, and he's the one as a head coach. He's got to deal with it. Like I said, with all the injuries we've had, and with 3-2. You got to say, okay, we're good, but it just isn't enough. Right now, I don't expect Sappho to play on Monday night. He keeps getting banged up. I don't know, man. Like I said, this is just such a cluster right now. It's hard to tell what they're going to be able to do.
And that's a good point, Rodney. Rodney said conditioning is also a major part. That's a great point because you think about it. They didn't get ready in the offseason, in the preseason. And so you're really starting to see, and at this point now, you're starting to get hurt. So you can't really get into a good rhythm and good conditioning. And we lost Jay Lou.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What happened?
But anyway, G, so a tough defense coming in, Josh Allen and this offense, man. And again, the keys to the game is going to be play action, being able to protect Tannehill, move in the pocket like we talked about tirelessly on this show. And defense has got to get pressure. Now, if they're playing that soft against rookie QBs, as far as the secondary, man, I hope they don't think they're going to get it right. It's going to be a very long night because he's going to check it down. He's going to throw the slants. He's going to throw the hitches all day long.
Running backs be catching passes out of the backfield, the whole nine, man. It's going to be a long night. The thing really, and looking at this game coming up, man, with Buffalo, is the fact that, you're a one-dimensional offense right now. You're one-dimensional. if Derrick Henry ain't running the ball, we're done. Today was an example of how we're better in the balance part of it, because Tannehill threw the ball 27 times.
Yep.
And that's good.
22 times. 22. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 22. So that's really what you don't want him, throwing the ball like he did against the Jets 40-something times. You really don't.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you got to start using play action to give him time, to give him room, and you got to have AJ or Julio on the field to make everybody else go open. The one telling play about AJ being on the field that shows you the effect he has on the defense was that touchdown pass to Michael Pruitt.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he took 3 defenders with him. That's poor defensive discipline for them.
Right.
But the bottom line is he took 3 defenders and that left your tight end wide open. So open, he didn't even realize he was that open until he turned. He's like, "Oh, I can just walk into this."
It was crazy.
But that's going to be your whole key, man. I mean, really, Todd Downey's got to get over this thing about not using play action on first down.
Mm-hmm.
He's just got to get past that.
He does.
And Vrabel has got to be the one to tell him to get past that and start using it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a Arthur Smith staple.
It was.
Play action on first down.
Right.
And I mean, when you stop and think about it, it's common sense football in the NFL.
It is.
It really is.
Not only on first down, G, but
Yeah.
also after you get turnovers. After you make stops on fourth down, what do? You come out, you take the shot. You take the shot right off the bat.
Go back to Arthur Smith's first season as the OC when we make it to the playoffs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We go against Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
We get the turnover. What is he doing the first play of the turnover?
Took a
Play
shot.
action,
Touchdown.
throw the ball deep.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about it, said, after we got the turnover, the turnover on downs, is he going to go deep? No.
I was hoping, man. Come on. Don't ruin my hopes.
Because that's not Todd Downey's way. Todd
Right.
Downey doesn't, if you're not going to use play action, then you're not going to be going deep off a turnover when they missed that field goal.
Mm-hmm.
It was the perfect time for it.
It was, yeah.
It was the perfect time for it. And you had a couple of guys. I mean, Chester Rogers could have got up there for you or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you stop and think about it now, he's not going to do it. And I'm going to say this, and this is a downer on J. Rob.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it. The Josh Reynolds signing was a mistake.
It's looking like it, ain't it?
No. It ain't. It's past looking like it. The Josh Reynolds signing was a mistake. That was Josh Reynolds. I thought he would come in and be a good slot receiver. I thought he would come in and be a good, somebody who could even help make up for what we're going to miss out of Corey Davis. He can't do anything, man. He can't do anything.
I'd agree. Sorry about that. Jen had a power surge in the neighborhood, but I agree with you, G. Wick, because this thing, Josh Reynolds was signed before we knew we had Julio Jones.
Right.
We really brought him in here to be the number 2.
Right.
Yep. He's barely the 4. He's barely the 4 to me.
I was going to say Marcus Johnson and Chester Rogers are better than him.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, he that was a mistake by J. Rob. That was if you want to go back to it, you can compare it to the Vic Beasley signing. I mean,
yes.
I mean, seriously, man.
No, I agree with you.
Josh Reynolds gives you nothing on offense when you really stop and think about it. He gives you nothing. He gives you nothing in route running. He don't get open clean. He doesn't take the defense anywhere.
And he's slow.
He's slow, yes.
And he's slow.
So look, and let me get some of these comments in, and I'm gonna make my comment. So Eddie Gray says, "Can we get North Turner out of retirement?" I don't know if he can come out of retirement.
I wish we could.
That'd be a great pickup. Let's see. Rodney says we let the wrong players go. Then Frank says the same thing about Josh Reynolds. He's not fast enough for the slot. Yeah, and so he's slow. Marcus Johnson is a lot better option. Chester Rogers is a lot. At least Chester. So Jacksonville played a lot of man coverage today, and guess what? Josh Reynolds couldn't get open. Goody.
At all.
They knew what they were running. They knew it.
Yeah.
They knew what kind of coverage they were running. To y'all's point. And so yeah, it's gonna be a tough next 2 weeks. You got Buffalo and you got KC. You get home. which might help a little bit, but you're not gonna be able to slow them down with that soft defense that's been
that won't
playing.
help. I'm here to tell you because the Bills Mafia and KC
will be in the stadium
full force.
Right. Yeah. And so you go 1-1 against rookie QBs where they had coming out parties, both of them really.
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence actually played pretty good today.
He did.
He played very good game. He made some good
and
decisions.
And to his credit, Trevor Lawrence is going to be a great NFL quarterback.
Yes,
he really is.
I'm a whole comment on that one. I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna wait and see. We'll see. Hey, I won't be afraid to say I was wrong, but we'll see. I'm not ready to crown. I'm not ready to crown him, because he is who we thought he was. Gonna come back and say that, but yeah. So, Mason Kinsey. That's a good point, Deion. We're gonna hear some noise about this. Mason Kinsey for slot. Maybe so. See, he's still in the practice squad. He's still there. They can bring him up. Why not Why not take a chance on him? Josh Reynolds is not bringing you anything to the table for you right now. Especially when you got man coverage. So guess what's going to start happening? They'll start playing a little bit more man coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I can hold my own against AJ with an over-the-top safety and Julio, and I can man up Josh Reynolds because he can't beat me, he's no threat. So when they run that 11 personnel with Derrick Henry and Blasting Game and a tight end and then 2 receivers, it's easy.
It's very easy.
But guys, thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Chill, G Whit, man. We got the victory today.
No. Like I said, I'm happy with 3-2, and I'm happy with 2-0 in the division, man. But it's right now it's fool's gold. Let's be real about it.
Yeah. Like we talked earlier, they are pretenders now. They are not contenders in AFC. All that off-season stuff, and that's why on this show we got a lot of folks asking, what about the records? Are they Super Bowl? A lot of people are they Super Bowl bound? We don't say that on here because you got to see them play. And as we said in the offseason, you got to wait to see what's going to come out of this product. And right now, this product is foul. It's really foul. It stinks.
This second quarter of the schedule is going to really. We're 3-2 right now, right? You can easily be 3-6.
By the time
after this quarter's over.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You got the Colts coming up again on the road.
And then you go to don't we go to LA after that? The Rams?
Go to LA after that.
Then we got Houston.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Houston is not an easy win.
No.
Oh no.
Houston is not an easy win.
That's the way they playing right now.
Yeah, they playing some good defense.
Yeah, they're playing good defense.
We knew Lovie Smith was gonna have that defense playing good.
Oh yeah.
He's a defensive guru.
Yeah.
So and somebody, Harold Landry needs to get paid. J. Rob needs to pay him because somebody else.
Absolutely.
He's playing lights out.
I was telling the wife, Harold Landry should get paid, and we know Rashad Evans is not going to get paid.
No, he's gone.
And Dane Cruikshank might be gone too.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be gone too because you got Elijah Molden's gonna come in.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, the only thing right now, Cruikshank's been starting. And the only thing I can say about him right now is his special teams coverage is still great.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's his value, really, is special teams coverage.
Which, speaking of that, I thought special teams played well today.
They did.
Jacksonville had Agnew was a dangerous returner.
He is.
And even on some of the balls that Randy wasn't getting into the end zone, I felt like we had good kick coverage. Today. So that probably be the one bright spot. The last couple of weeks, we really hadn't had to mention even the punter that's filling in for Kern, right? outside of the first punt of his career with us where he shanked it. He's been pretty well. He actually punted the ball pretty well today.
He punted the ball well today. I mean, there was a lot of fair catches made in that game, because of the way he was punting the ball. But the coverage was still good too. Like I said, that's Chris Shank's value, his special teams.
Right.
And I can see keeping him for that. But if anybody's looking, but if somebody's gonna sign him to a big contract or whatever, they're gonna let him go. They're gonna sign him cheap. And if Rashad Evans, if he's looking for a big contract, he's not about to get it.
Oh no, he's not getting it from here anyway.
And he's not getting it. I don't think he's getting it from anybody because he hasn't shown anything. Like I said, 2 years after Dean Pease. I mean, granted he's hurt, but still, I mean, you a lot of things have nothing to do with being hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Tackling, gap discipline. That's just knowledge of the game. And he's been in the league for 4 years, 5 years. That gap discipline should be for a number one pick. It should be a whole lot better. Agreed. And right now he's playing like he doesn't know the game of football anymore.
Hey, this is Will says, did we know that Vrabel was 0-4 against Ricky QBs Minshew,
Yes.
Allen, Wilson, and Burrows, all beats.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
Today was his first. Today was his first victory against a rookie quarterback in his career.
Yeah.
Coaching.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Boogie
again,
man. I'm sorry, Boogie man. Yeah, we were talking about Landry earlier in coverage.
Yes.
That's just like insane.
yeah.
He cannot cover. As good of an athlete as he is, he can't cover.
He's
he can't.
not supposed to cover.
No, he's
very
not.
very few linebackers that can cover a tight end. Let's be real.
Yes.
No, that's true.
And
that's
he's
true.
definitely not one of them. So how you end up letting him slide in coverage on a line on a tight end? That's just coaching malpractice. That's all that is.
No, Boogie, we appreciate your comment, man. I just try to answer them as they come in. Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Though the Titans get the AFC South victory 37-19 over the Jags. It was ugly. It was should have been a beatdown. It wasn't. But hey, you got the Bills coming here Monday night. It's a big game. The Bills Mafia is gonna be in here, I'm sure, and we've got to come with it. Jay Lee, we talked about it, man. Play action has got to be a staple of this game coming up. And you cannot let Josh Allen and his receivers have 10-yard cushion.
He'll come in here. He's an MVP candidate for a reason.
Right.
He'll come in here and light it up. So I mean, the next 2 weeks, playoff football. You possibly would hope to see these teams in January.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna get your best at them. Now again, you're at home, so you ain't got to travel, but that don't really mean a lot. But I mean, when you look at our defense, it's very easily that we could give up 90 points the next 2 games. And I'm just not exaggerating on that.
So let me say this, and I know y'all probably ain't gonna like this, but just think about this for a minute. Every time that Vrabel has his back against the wall, per se, they come out and they beat the brakes off somebody that they shouldn't be like they played Buffalo last year, and that game had gotten moved because of COVID. They didn't practice for almost 2 weeks. And what do? So I'm not saying that's gonna happen this time, but they are due for one of those. One of those games is gonna shock everybody. Like, oh, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, well, the Titans are back now. They, so they're due for one of those. I'm not saying it's gonna happen this week, but Jay Lou and y'all both know. Y'all both know it happens. So ever since he's been his tenure here, that's one of the things is when people start going against him, we push him against his back against the wall, talking about the performance of his team. They usually come out and they perform well, but.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta like that the schedule makers. The next 3 weeks, you got the who you would think would AFC contenders playing, all playing round robin. The Chiefs got the Bills tonight, and then the Bills get us, and then we get the Chiefs. So
it's a measuring stick the next
the next couple of weeks.
We'll see what happens.
Oh yeah,
but thank you. Go ahead.
It's going to be.
Look, Debbie down over there. Come on, G. Whitney.
No, man, I'm just telling you, it's going to be. We may win. We may win. But I'm just saying, right now, what you see going on with this team, I'm just going to call it like it is. It's coaching malpractice. Mm-hmm. They are playing some seriously dumb football right now. Right. I mean, offensively and defensively, you got to look at it from that standpoint. And a win's a win in the NFL. You take it in the way you can get it. But right now, they're playing some dumb football. Yeah,
it's the coaching, man. I mean, that's the point. It's the coaching. The coaching is just horrible. The coordinators are just bad. The position coaches are bad, and it might be the doom of Vrabel if he don't do something about it. Mm-hmm. If he don't do something about it.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I keep saying this, and you can just Vrabel's not going anywhere. It's gonna take a disaster for them to get rid of Vrabel. I'm telling you.
So, and I hear that, but look at it this way. Amy dished out a lot of money this year, right?
Yep.
And was
the last 2 years. This goes the last 2 years.
So one of the things that Vrabel was saying in the offseason last year was what? We got to get the players. We got to get the players. And so they went out and they got some players. They spent a lot of money in free agency, bringing guys in who they thought would help this football team. All right, so now you got your players, right? Everybody would agree we got some talent. So now, if they're not producing, who's that go on? Now do you have to get rid of the coaches? The office, the coordinators? I mean, so they'll go before Vrabel. I agree with you. Agree with you. They'll go before Vrabel because they're going to have to go. It's going to be a mandate that they go. Mm-hmm. But,
and unless, like I said, unless he pulls a Mike Munchak and a Mike Mularkey and say, I'm sticking with my boys regardless, then that's when you'll see him go. But that's just the bottom line. Vrabel's not going anywhere unless that happens.
Right.
And J-Rob would have to make that decision.
Yeah. Something's got to change, though. Right.
But something's got to change with this team, with the talent that they have. And, first thing they got to do, like to Jay Lou's point, they got to get healthy.
Yeah.
They got to get healthy.
That's the main thing.
Something needs to change with the training staff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Doing,
what are they doing over there? Because I honestly feel like it's not only that, but, I was glad to hear Bud come out this week and say that, he let his pride get in the way and rush himself back. Where's the training staff to stop that? Because truth be told, I think that's part of Taylor Lewan's problem right now, too.
Right.
I think sometimes we're
Caleb Farley.
Rushing these guys back from injury, and they're not really giving us everything they should out on the field. So somebody's got to say something in that sports park about that.
Right. Again, thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Thank you for the comments, the questions. Thank you for supporting the show. We'll be back. Oh, so next week's a Monday night game, so we'll be putting out. You just be on the lookout for that time and in the day of the show. We won't be on next Sunday because of the game on Monday night, but we could do a pregame show. We could do a pregame show before the game and talk about what happened during the week. So we'll come on next Sunday, but then we'll come on during the week next week at an unusual time just to make sure we talk about the win over the Buffalo Bills. I said it.
Okay.
I said it, G-Wit. I said
okay.
I went on to say it. I went on to say it. And if it's a loss, it's a loss. So what? We still here, man. Tighten up. Tighten up, baby, because I'm a Titan fan, but the bottom line is I just hate seeing it was like what we said last year.
Mm-hmm.
You had a top 5 offense really go to waste.
Oh God, yes.
I just hate seeing talent go to waste. That's
I agree with you.
Because really, when you stop and think about it, the talent on this team is really tremendous as far as I'm concerned, and it's not being used.
Virgil says, "Say it with your chest about that victory." Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It won't be the first time I was wrong.
Yep.
But,
I hope we do win, though.
Right. Thank y'all for joining us again for another episode, man. Join us next week, man. We'll be back here, right here live, talking about the Titans and the Bills preview. And then, hey, if you can go to the game, support your home team, man. We're gonna need everybody we can in the stadium.
Yeah, because there's gonna be a lot of Bills fans there.
Right.
Yes.
The Bill Mafia will be in full effect. And then right after that, the whole stadium the following
will be red.
Sea of red.
Yeah.
Just like it was the last time.
The tomahawk chop. So, that's G-Wit, that's J. Lou. I'm Eddie out there. This is Halftime Adjustment, man. Tighten up. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.